But on weekends, it's that time that you're looking at him. I mean, he's dependent on us to be able to turn him to say, okay, now he must be tired or now he must be thirsty. Since 2019, we cannot even go to church. We can't go. You can't travel with him. I mean, he's so tall, he doesn't even fit in the car. It's difficult to travel with him. Then we change the prayer to say, God, forgive us if there's something that we've done to be this situation.
Welcome to the Safe Space Chats podcast with Madam Speaker. My name is Perseverance Maremeni, also known as Madam Speaker, also known as the CEO of Self-Love. If you're joining in for the first time, welcome to the family of healing, self-love, and motivation. And if you're returning, thank you so much for the continuous love and support that you are showing us. We are recording at number 7 Cedric Road in Isando Vale. So if you want to come through to record or you want to be a guest, please do use the number that is appearing on your screen right now, and we will meet each other right here in our studios. Anyway, I have a guest next to me. Our guest is going to introduce herself and we'll go straight into the episode of today. My sister?
Okay, thank you for having me. Okay, my name is Dorcas Ndaba. I'm married with 2 kids. Yes. Okay. So my story is about my son, the last born. His name is Manqoba. So he was born as a normal child, and when he was 3 months old, he had his seizure. So we didn't even understand at the time. We just ran to hospital. When we got to hospital, he was admitted. They did some tests, MRI and EEGs, and then they said there was nothing wrong with him. So maybe it's because of a fever, maybe he's getting flu or something.
Yeah.
So just to fast forward, on the 20th of October, 2019, it was after church. Just after church, as we were leaving, he had a seizure. It was an epic seizure. He just started fitting, and the seizure was not stopping. So my husband on that day was not at church. So I called him to say, the child is having a seizure and it's not stopping. So he came, he rushed, he came to church and then picked us up. We ran to hospital. So when we got to hospital, unfortunately, he was not breathing anymore. So he was then on life support. It was a Sunday. And then came Monday, it was just different doctors, neurologists, while he's on life support. So there was nothing, there was no response on him. And then Tuesday, then the doctor came and then called us to the hospital room, you know, that scary room that is in hospital.
Yeah.
And then she said to us, unfortunately, I've got bad news for you guys. Your son will never, he won't wake up, he's brain dead. So you took too long to get to hospital. So there was no oxygen to the brain. So his brain dead. He will not talk or walk or do anything ever again. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So that was the beginning of, that was a change in our lives. It was like something that we were never prepared for. So, you know, you're hearing this doctor, he's saying these things, you can hear, but you don't even understand what does it mean. So I think we were in hospital for almost 2 months. So on the 2nd month, and then they said, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do, because they did some tests to see if he will be able to eat on his own. That was like preparation for us to go home with him. And then unfortunately, he couldn't swallow. And then they had to put a tube, it's called a Mickey tube, on him so that we can be able to feed him when we get home. And then that was the beginning of change for our lives. And then when we got home, we had to get people to look after him. We got 2 wonderful ladies that were looking after him, trained them in terms of how to take care of him as well. So in October this year, it will be almost 6 years in this condition that he's in. Unfortunately, it comes with a lot of cost. I mean, now you have 2 people that looks after him. He's got special food. I mean, he's got pampasses and all the things that he needs for him, for us to be able to take care of him. And then we had to tap into our savings, unfortunately. And then after tapping into the savings, now you must start going into debt just to try and look after him. So at this point, we are in a point where we are unable, all we can do is to be able to repay the debts, but we cannot be able to afford all these things that he needs medically. So at work, there's a lady that I usually talk to, Monica van Reren. So as we were talking, it was last year, and then I was telling her that, you know what, I don't know what we're going to do. And I'm fearing that we will not be able to take care of this child because we can't anymore. So, and we also had to let go of one of the ladies that looks after him. So now we have one lady, which is also difficult for her. For an example, he has grown so big. I don't know, it's also the medication and stuff, because he's almost my height now, even though he's 10 years old. So she's unable to carry him around the house and all that. So it's also difficult. So the lady said, there is a platform called Beg a Buddy. Maybe you should register there, and then to try and get some funds, people can donate there. So we did register. We've been getting some support from different people, so as well. So by God's grace, we got this opportunity through, there's a guy who was and given, and there's this foundation from Rita that was able to connect us with you to come to this platform to try and see if we can be able to reach more people so that we can be able to continue to look after him. Yeah.
Sure.
So, but yeah, it is a difficult, because you are never prepared for this. You don't even know what to do. It's really a difficult situation. And it has also affected his brother as well so much. It has affected his brother so much because, I mean, he had to grow. He had to grow because right now I can say the firstborn is actually my strength, you know. There's times, weekend, all I do, okay, when you're at work, you try to block it, and then you're at work, you're working. But on weekends, it's that time that you're looking at him. I mean, he's dependent on us to be able to turn him to say, okay, now he must be tired, or now he must be thirsty. Now I think he needs this. Now I think, let me try and pick him up. So I thank God because of this son that I have, because every time when I am down, when he says that Mama is just crying in the bedroom, you know, he would actually write verses. He always gives me, I would get to work, and in my diary there is this verse that is just giving comfort. And that was actually my fear, because since 2019, we cannot even go to church. We can't go. You can't travel with him. I mean, he's so tall, he doesn't even fit in the car. It's difficult to travel with him. So, but with that, I still thank God, because I don't know how my son got so spiritual, and he's not even that old. I mean, he's 17. You know, one time I walked into his room, and then there I saw his Bible. You know, I was so shocked to see how much he reads the Bible and all the things that he highlights. And then that's how I saw, good, this is how he's getting this. So through everything, I still thank God for everything that he's doing for us. And you know, he always says, Mama, because in the beginning, we used to pray and say, God, heal him. Like, God, heal Manqoba. I mean, we gave him this name for a reason. Manqoba is conqueror. But days went by, weeks went by, months went by. It's even years. We started counting years. Then I thought, God, maybe we're praying wrongly. We're supposed to say, forgive us, Lord. There must be something wrong that we've done, Lord, for you to put us in this situation. Then we changed the prayer to say, God, forgive us if there's something that we've done to be in this situation. But see, I keep saying, Mama, God's time is not our time. It's not necessarily that we've done something. Job did nothing to God, but he went through everything. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so painful. It's so painful to see someone lying there. You will not believe how it changes your life. There's nothing that we do. The only thing we can do is just to go to work. The only thing that we can do is just to go to work. And unfortunately, his condition is getting worse. He gets more seizures now. I can't even count. He gets more than 10 seizures a day. You know, you would wake up when you're preparing to go to work. While you're in the bathroom, you hear he's getting a seizure. You must come out running and try and calm him down. And you still have to take your bag and go to work and leave him through everything. So it's really difficult. Unfortunately, with the expenses, we've reached this point now where we are not able to be able to take care of him because we're just paying back. Because in the beginning, unfortunately, after we left the hospital, we thought, let's get a second opinion, a third opinion. So we kept on going to different neurologists to try and see maybe they might have missed something. So we were just spending and spending, hoping that he will wake up. So yes, that is where we are. But through everything, we still get the support. For example, as I said, we don't go to church, but every Sunday we get a sermon. The pastor makes sure he sends the sermon so we can still be able to listen to the sermon while we're at home. We've got neighbors that are very supportive. The colleagues are very supportive. Everyone, the community is very supportive. And people have been supportive with this Beke Buddy. We do get people that actually buys pampasses for him and linens for him. So we just we're trying to reach a bigger platform, more people, if they can be able to assist and donate us through this journey of us taking care of him until God heals him. Because I still believe it's going to be a testimony. I still believe there is something. I still believe God has a plan with him.
You know, as you are speaking about Job in the Bible, there's also a man called Bartimaeus who was born blind. And when the disciples of Jesus asked him, is it because his parents sinned? And he said, it's not because of anybody's sinning. It's because God wanted to show himself through him. Yes. So I believe that even in your case, it's not a matter of anyone sinning or anything like that, you know. I don't know if you're comfortable, because there are certain things that I would like maybe to just ask based on what you have shared with me. Because I believe that the vast majority of us have the notion that when someone is brain dead, then it means that they can't function at all. Because in most cases, what we've seen happening either on TV, even in real life, you know, because I've been through a similar situation. When they say someone is brain dead, they give the family an opportunity to either keep the machine on or switch off the machine. And they say that if they switch off the machine and the person continues breathing, then that means that they are alive. But if they switch off the machine and everything stops, then unfortunately that means that's the end. So in this case, I want to understand how it happened and how it is happening that you were able to take the child home from the hospital.
Okay. So on Tuesday, on that Tuesday when they gave us feedback, the doctor told us those options, to give us the options that the machine is breathing for him. He's not breathing. So there is the option. They gave us that option. They brought someone to give us counseling of switching off the machine. But we decided with my husband to say, no, we're not switching off the machine. We're not going to switch off the machine. So he was on the machine, I think, for like 4 weeks. And then they took him off the machine to see if he can breathe for himself. And he was breathing, but hard. You could see the whole chest collapsing inside and everything. And then they had to put him back. And then the other option that they gave, they said, okay, now they were controlling it to say, okay, let's see. We're giving him oxygen 90% and see if he can be able to breathe the 10%. So that's how they went gradually until he could breathe on his own. Like 80% when they saw he's comfortable, and until he could breathe on his own. So in the beginning, actually, when we went home, we still had the difficulties of breathing. That was a challenge. We would run to hospital. We were like almost at casualty. I don't know. A lot of times, especially with the tube as well, because we're not used to it. We'll be doing something and this thing comes off and then we're running to hospital and stuff. But as the time went, he was able to breathe on his own. So currently he can breathe on his own, comfortably so. But the only thing that he does is breathing, and then he's just there with his eyes open. At least you can see when he's sleeping because the eyes are closed. And when he's awake, the eyes are open. but that's all that he does.
Okay.
It's just his eyes open and he's laying there, and then you need to think for him, because also there is bed sores that he gets. If you leave him longer, you'd see he would have bed sores at the back, and then you think, okay, now he's tired. Okay, now, especially now that you're feeding him through the tube, obviously, like 30 mils of water, maybe every 4 hours and everything, but he's not doing anything besides just us moving him from here to another place. That's the only thing that he does. So initially they were saying he can't see, he can't hear. But currently I think he can see, because if you're looking at him and you move your face, he follows the faces. So I think I think he can see us, but there is no emotion. There is no, it's not like he can cry or anything. I remember one day I was just holding him, just to make him rest from sleeping. I don't know how, but I fell asleep. And then he fell. But he just falls. He's not gonna, there is no emotion. He's not gonna cry. He's not gonna do anything. There's nothing that he does. It's just a person there. So that's the state that he's in currently. He can breathe on his own, but he doesn't do anything else. And another thing is, in terms of the health, he has developed scoliosis. Scoliosis, it's when your spine bends.
Okay.
Because obviously when we pick him up, we are unable to hold his body, because his body is not, it's floppy. So he has developed scoliosis. So we managed to get brace to try and correct it. However, if it can't be corrected, there's an operation that needs to happen. There's just a lot of things. And then for the seizures, when they did another scan, and then they said there was liquid in the brain. But the doctor's saying it's not worth it to even operate, because we'll just make him uncomfortable. It's not going to bring any results operating him. So we just have to bear with the seizures. I mean, he's almost on 3 different medications for seizures, but they still happen. They are triggered by anything. If you bang something or if you talk or anything, he just gets seizures. As I was saying, that has affected his brother as well, because, he can't even have his friends to come over. I remember one time they wanted to study with his friends, and then I said to him, it's fine, you can let them come here, see. He said, Mama, but I can't, Manqoba. I can't bring anyone, so. Yeah. But I still thank God for the support from my husband as well. What a wonderful man. That's why I say God will give you a situation, but he will still give you the strength and the support, because he's been there from the beginning to the end. I can give an example of birthing him. From day one to today, with the 6 years, he's been doing that. Even though I see that he's exhausted, he's tired, but he's just there. He has just stopped his life. All he does is to rush home, to be at home.
My sister who is operating there, we always speak about how the people who sit on this chair are people of God, and God knows their situation before they can even share the situation with us. And there's a part we can do in terms of how we can help, But I think the majority of the work that needs to be done is by God himself, And the fact that you already believe in God and you have faith and you trust in God, I believe that then says half of the work is done, So yeah, I'm so sorry. Okay, back to when it comes to the issue of the brain, ne? Because I get it, then it says, or if the child is able to breathe and is able to close and open his eyes, then that means that part of his brain is still alive. Am I correct?
I believe so, because yes, the brain can say close your eyes.
Yes.
The brain can say open your eyes.
Yes. So when you're saying, or you were hopping from one neurologist to another, what were they saying about that? Because obviously, okay, it's not obvious because your case is a special case, where when they say somebody is brain dead, like proper brain dead, then they can't even do the stuff that Manova is doing right now.
Yes.
So what did they have to say about that?
They were giving the same results because we did the MRI, and then they were talking about the damage on the temporal, what do they call it? Temporal sclerosis. And it's a part of brain where you can't even operate or anything. So they were giving exactly the same thing, that he would not be able to function or anything, because the part of the brain, it's the one that sends signals or anything for you to talk, for you to walk, for you to cry, for you to be able to have emotions and everything. So they all gave us the same results. Yeah.
Okay.
They all gave us the same results. So as well, there is one of the doctors that said to us, maybe for you to get closure, you can do some tests. There are tests that we can do, but I think they are done overseas. And so if you guys have funds, maybe do the test so that we can find out to what caused this. And then they took blood samples. And then when the results came back, they said it's he actually had Dravet syndrome.
Okay.
So unfortunately, you cannot pick that up from MRI.
Okay.
So as I was saying, that he did have a seizure before. He did have seizure. So you would not be able to pick that up unless on blood sample, because it's it has to do, I think, with genes or something like that. But they said it's called Dravet syndrome. We tried to read about it and everything. Yeah, but also when we're reading about it, there is no cure for it. Yeah. And in the state that we are in, as the doctors are saying, the situation is irreversible. Even though we believe, because even from the beginning, when we're in hospital, I remember fasting. I think I fasted for 2 weeks. I said, no, God, this child is going to wake up and say, Mama. And my husband was so concerned, even spoke to my pastor to say, please talk to her. I cannot lose her as well and then lose the child, because I really believe that he's just going to wake up and say, Mama. He's just going to wake up and say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just unbelievable. Even at crash, when we called them, they said, no, but Manqoba was here on Friday. He was not sick. What happened? You cannot say that he's not coming back. So that's where we are. That's where we are.
I think then it says that how you approach life is completely different to how you used to, because you don't know what tomorrow holds for you. You can only have faith in God, and trust Him for tomorrow.
Yes.
Because when a child goes to crèche on Friday, Ali Sharp, and then Sunday, this happens, your whole reality changes.
Our life changed completely. And when I think about it, especially that Sunday, I was saying, on Sunday he didn't want to sit on the chair. He was on my lap. I'm like, Manqoba, sit. No, he didn't want to sit. He was busy looking at me and Mama and all that and everything. I remember when we went out, I was telling this lady, Tande, you know what? My dress is even wet, because Manqoba was sitting on my lap. He didn't want to sit down. When I look back, and then as we were walking, I even remember his last words as we were walking. And then he said to Shekinah, there was a child, Shekinah, because she was running, Shekinah, stop running. You are naughty. Those are the last words that I heard before he just fell and then had a seizure. And then you just think back, you say, Lord, we are never ready for this. Lord, we are never ready for this. And then, you pray and then you say, God, I'm not Job. I cannot take this. I cannot take this. I cannot take this. I said, Lord, I cannot take this. But if we say that again, who must take it? Maybe we're in this situation because God wants to do a testimony for someone else. There might be someone that is out there wanting to end their lives or anything, because that's what we had to end up believing, to say there must be a reason why we are in this situation.
Yeah.
There must be a reason, God, because we really don't understand.
Yeah.
We really don't understand. But again, going back to the scriptures, there's actually this video that I was watching for little James, when he asked Jesus to say, why haven't you healed me? I mean, you've given me powers to be able to heal others, but you have not healed me. And then Jesus said, there are many testimonies for people that I've healed. But imagine yourself, your testimony will be so different. Yes, because you're praying for people and people get healed, but you're not healed. So we get comfort from scriptures and everything, and also listening to your stories. I listen to your stories. I watch your stories and I'm like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. People are really going through different things.
And they're passing through them.
And they are passing through them. They are passing through them.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to the way forward from here, let's say, because I believe that God has really blessed us with the community that God has blessed us with, because we always get these reviews that somebody can go to 2 different platforms, and when they come to our platform, even if the views are not even if they don't reach like a lot of people, but the little people that they reach, it touches their hearts and they want to help, So I believe that this platform is a platform where God touches the people's hearts before they can even watch the stories, And I know for a fact that there are going to be people who will want to help, after they listen to your story. So what I want to know is, ideally, okay, maybe not even ideally, but what do you think going forward would be the ideal help that you should get, or you are asking for? And also, like, I just want you to paint a picture for me of how you see things rolling out with you and your family after sharing the story today.
Okay. So the assistant that we need, as I said, he's big now. He's grown. So he has outgrown majority of the things that he had, like a buggy. He needs a buggy for him to be able to. A buggy is not the same as a wheelchair. He can't sit in a wheelchair because he's floppy. So a buggy is the one that holds you and also protects your neck. So we actually had a buggy that one of our neighbors assisted with when we started with the when the situation happened in 2019. Unfortunately, he has outgrown it. Yes, so we need a buggy for him, and also we need a bed, because one of the recommendations that they recommended is there is a specific bed actually that supports your spine. Because no matter how much you try and say, I've put him straight, you can never get it right. You can never. Yes. So those are the most important things that we need, at least so that the scoliosis doesn't get worse than what it is. And also so that he can be able to sit and rest from sleeping, because now he has, unfortunately, bed sores at the back. As we said, having one person looking after him is already also, I can say, it's not easy for her. So you can't say every 2 hours I'll be able to pick him up and make him rest. It's not even, I mean, when I pick him up, his height is even higher than my own height, yes. So with a buggy, that will make life easier. So as well as I've already mentioned that some people assist in terms of the linens and then the pampasses as well. Also, we have opened the platform. It's a campaign. The platform is called Beg a Body, and then we've registered it under Manqoba, where people go and donate some funds for us to be able to continue looking after him, his medical needs. Yes.
And also now, when it comes to his medical needs, ne? Because I agree we are saying that some recommendations say that maybe tests can be done abroad and all of that stuff. What did you maybe do some research nyana on that to say what help can he get medically if let's say somebody is watching this from a place where they are able to assist in that regard?
So in terms of, we did a research, yes, in terms of Dravet syndrome, and then we saw that actually even the test itself, it's only a few years back that they were able to do the test, that genetic test and stuff. And then there is different medication that they do, because the last time when we were doing the research, because as I say now, we're even exhausted because we know we don't even have funds. At the time they were saying there is different types of medications that they combine for Dravet syndrome. However, in this state that he's already in this state of brain damage, I don't know what help we can get, whether the operation is possible, because, we felt like maybe someone out there might look at these scans and say, no, but we can operate, because that's what we kept pushing when we were going to the neurologist to say, if you're saying there's something, because they showed us there's something here, but can't you operate and remove? And I don't know if there's someone out there that has that knowledge, because we've also tried. There's a professor, it's Professor Lamp, that we were going as well when we were tapping into the funds. It's very expensive to try but as well, he said the feedback he gave us. He said medically there's nothing you can do. That's why we then said, okay, if medically there's nothing we can do, the only thing we can do is to turn back to God, because God, you're the one that gave us this baby. You are the one that formed us. Lazarus died, and you still were able to. Yeah. So with this story, hopefully there will be someone, maybe a doctor, maybe someone. We are willing to go medically to anything that is out there to try and see if there is something that is possible. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and lots of prayers from our prayer warriors out there. Say we must join hands together and pray in this, because I, excuse me, I have a belief that sometimes God will back us in a corner where we cannot give credit to anybody else for the work that He has done. Yes. So sometimes the more we have options, it's the more we disregard the works that God will be doing. So yes, we'll be giving God the glory in passing, but acknowledging the people that have actually helped. Yes. But sometimes God puts us in that situation where He wants you to see Him for who He is. Yes, He's gonna send people to help, but the acknowledgement of who actually did the work, being God. Yes. So I hope that this encourages you, to say really God is putting me in a corner where He really just wants us to depend upon Him. Yes. And acknowledge even the little help that will be coming, to say this is from God Himself. Yes. Because I believe that when we are helping each other, when we know each other, it's easier, because we will always keep tabs of saying, remember, I once helped you with this and that. Yes. But when God intervenes, He will send people that you don't even know, people that even after they have helped, you can't even look back and trace the people that have helped you, because the only trace that you must have is the trace of the grace of God. Yes. And I believe that this is where you are now. Yes. That's true. Sure. Yeah, this is heavy.
That is true.
I think maybe the last thing that I'm going to ask on your side is in terms of psychologically, how have you been able to handle it as a family?
It's been a tough one. So I said one of the neighbors actually arranged counseling for us, and we went there. Okay, it didn't go well. It didn't go well. My husband couldn't cope, and then we went home, and it's that counseling that comes from families to say it's gonna be okay, the colleagues is gonna be okay. It's just that, and the people that are praying out there, and as I already mentioned, to say I don't know where my son is even getting the strength to be able to stand, because in the beginning, he couldn't even come to where we were with the child. He was scared. He was, but I don't know. He just grew. He had to grow into this person that I am even scared, and I'm like, God, I can see you through this child, because I don't know even how are you giving him strength. But it's been a tough journey, and I think for me as a woman, I can say it's even better, because we talk. I would just meet someone and then just tell a person, you know what I'm going through, this, and then you cry. And then there's a lady at work. I even started calling her my crying buddy, Isabella. You know, if I'm having one of those bad ones, maybe I didn't sleep from 2:00, I will just call her, and then we go to this lab, and I'm like, I'm not coping, and just cry it out. But for my husband especially, it's difficult. You know, men are not the same as women. They really don't talk. But you can see this person is really breaking. That's why when I saw that the finances are going, and then, I mean, he's the man of the house, and this person is really stressing, I said to him and Sia, okay, someone is suggesting this. I don't know how comfortable you are, because it means now we're going public. But I can see, Pumpo, that you're really falling apart. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help. But if you guys are willing, I am willing. We go out there and then we talk. And then that's how we then started
The Becca Buddy.
the Becca Buddy. That's how we started. And it's very funny because the lady Monica van Reren, you know, I've never met her. I just know her through Teams. When we meet, she works in Harry Smith. And I don't even know how we ended up even talking about my situation and everything. And she would keep asking, but how are you now? How are things going? And I said, no, now it's going up. I don't know what to do. And all the things that she's tried. That's why I said, through everything, I still see God. Through everything that has happened, I see God. You know, we have these amazing people. You know, sometimes you knock off and then you get to the security and then they tell you there's a box there. You see this box of Pampasses and you're like, God, this is you. How did this person know? And then, you know, we've had times that it was really, really hard, and then someone will just come and then issue something. You're like, how did this person know that we are not able to do this? That's why I'm saying, through the situation, God is there. I don't know what is the end result of this. I don't know what is God showing us. I don't know, but all we can do is just to still continue to praise Him, and then pray, and then pray and pray, even when you don't know what to say anymore, because we've reached a point where I said, okay, God, I don't know. We started with, please heal him, forgive us, thank you, Lord. But now I don't know what prayer. I'm just going to pray, our Father who art in heaven. That's all I'm going to say, Lord, because I don't know what to say to you anymore. But yeah, with the prayers, because I know for sure people are praying out there. They are praying at church every day for him. So we thank God for all the assistance that we got from everyone that has been assisting us throughout, and especially to the ladies that looked after him, because, you know, it gives you so much comfort when you go, because, you know, these people, they really love him like it's their own child. Unfortunately, we had to let go one of them, which was not an easy decision, but finances are not allowing anymore. So, but we thank God for all the support.
Yeah.
We thank God, because the reason why we are here, it is God. That's what I said. With the reason why we are here, it's God. Because I don't even know, I'm not even on social media, you know that. The only thing that I have as social media is WhatsApp. But here we are. We are able to meet you. We're able to meet Loveness on her foundation. So all these things, I look at it and I say, that is just God. God is walking. God is there with us through everything.
Yeah.
Yes, we just have to continue to believe, even though, because again, how do you praise God? How do you stay faithful when what you're praying for doesn't happen? But again, it's just God. It's just God. There's a song that I always play when I go to work. I say, God, I'm counting my blessings. I mean, we are blessed. We are still blessed because we are here. We are still blessed. We are here. I mean, my husband is here supporting 24 hours. I mean, he would even say, sleep on the other side. Let me sleep here next to him, because you have to be there. You have to sleep with him so that you can, when he has seizures, so that you can tend him, so that he doesn't choke or anything. So it's just God. It's just God, because he's the one that plans our life. It is God.
My sister, you know, as I'm looking at you speak, I just see strength. You know, the way God has you carry so much strength. God has deposited so much strength in you, which is even bigger than your structure. As I'm looking at you, as petite as you are, you be like, I don't even know how to explain it. But the strength that God has given you, I don't know, it's a strength of 1,000 men. And for you to be able to get by every single day, it can only be God.
Yes.
And I don't know, maybe we can do... My sister, are you in for prayer? Thank you, operator. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Yeah. My sister, in closing, I don't know if there's anything else that you have left that you would like to share before we just wrap it up.
Thank you for the prayer. Thank you so much. You know, it always feels better after I pray. It always feels better after I pray. I think I've covered everything. Thank you to everyone that has been supporting us through this journey. Thank you. Thank you to the church. Thank you to the neighbors. Thank you to Manqoba's moms that have been looking after him. Thank you to the colleagues. Thank you to my family, my husband's family. Most of all, thank you to my wonderful husband. My angel is my angel, no matter how hard things are. Thank you to him. Thank you to my son.
Yeah.
And thank you for having us. Thank you, Loveness Foundation, for connecting us with you. And thank you, God, for giving us this opportunity as we continue this journey. And I'm hoping that one of these days we'll be coming back and walk in there with Manova.
Amen.
And you say, such a wonderful child. I mean, we still have his videos. You know, coming home was such a joy. You know, every time you come home, when you open the gate, he will be jumping, Mama, 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 Mama. You know, we have those videos. We miss him so much because, fortunately, his brother is such a quiet person. Even if you come to the house, you won't even see him. He's so reserved. So, but we thank God. We thank God and believe that there is a reason for everything. And I don't know why we called him Manqoba. That means conqueror. There must be a reason for that, because his name is actually Manqoba and Sbusiso. His name is Blessing. So he is a blessing in our lives. And yeah, a testimony will come. We'll come back for a testimony. We'll definitely come back for a testimony.
Amen to that. I think I want to say on behalf of everybody that you have thanked, thank you as well. Thank you for being a vessel, you know. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for not throwing in the towel. Thank you for not giving up, you know, your fighting spirit. And I just want to thank God for renewing your strength every day, you know, and always sending helpers your way. It's by the grace of God. So thank you. Because there are people that even when they others want to help, they reject the help because of what they're going through, you know. they allow whatever they're going through or their situation to cloud them to a point where they don't even see help when help is coming. So I really just pray that God keeps you there, in his strongest side of his arm, and keep renewing your strength every single day.
Thank you so much.
Where do the people get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you, or is it going to be? Are you going to leave the details?
Yes, I'm going to leave the details with you for Bekebade. I'll send you the link as well. And also, if you go to Google and say, and you type Bekebade, and the Bekebade will come through, and then you search Manqoba Ndaba, and then the specific link will come through as well. I will also leave my number as well with you, and also share the link with you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sisi, for joining in and sharing your story. And for those who are viewing from at home, please do leave a lovely comment in the comment section, and also go search it up. We'll leave a link for you guys to go click on it and see how we can help our sister. And also, most importantly, please, as soon as this hits your heart, because I know that some of these things, when people are sharing, it says in your spirit, you get so convicted to say, I need to pray for this person or this situation. So if it is laid in your heart that you should pray for my sister and her family, just so that God can always strengthen and renew their strength every single day, so that they never ever get tired. And also, if there's anything that if you know anything, if you've been through a similar situation, or you know someone, and a lovely comment that you can leave will help, because we'll be reading on them. And we are hoping that, eventually at the end of the day, our son is going to walk in here, is going to sit here, and he's going to share his story. We look forward to that day. But until then, thank you so much for joining in. I will see you guys on the flip side. I love you. God bless you.